This is nationwide news on the network service of the NTA. Welcome. I am Norlene Ebel Ame. Let's begin the broadcast by informing you that the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to collaborating with key stakeholders in the global information and broadcasting sector to strengthen Nigeria's information dissemination framework. This was during discussions with prominent broadcast and information companies at the National Association of Broadcasters NAB Show 2025 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
It is a global show of modern broadcast equipment. In line with the five-point agenda of the ministry, Mohammed Idris emphasized that the administration of President Bola Tinubu is committed to adopting cutting-edge technologies and state-of-the-art equipment for federal government media organizations to ensure effective service delivery.
Well, this connected with the new hub. The renewed hub is about, seeing what is new around the globe, bringing best practices, bringing everyone together, fusing technology with content so that Nigerians can be better informed, not just in terms of infrastructure, but in terms of the new content that can be created for the benefit of all Nigerians. And this is one of the lessons that we are learning here, and this is what we are taking back home.
He assured that part of his desire to harness the media ecosystem in Nigeria is to explore effective collaborations and partnerships that will allow local broadcasters to benefit from emerging technologies through training. The minister was accompanied by heads of agencies under the ministry, including the Director General of NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, Director Generals of News Agency of Nigeria, Voice of Nigeria, National Broadcasting Commission, and that of the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria.
We have seen how the technology is growing. We've had discussions with some of our partners. We have also interacted with new business partners. We're trying to see how we can improve on what we have already and also introduce some of these new technologies. The new technology tends to make commercialize a lot of short-wave technology that is easy.
This is more like an innovation. Is has exposed myself and my agency to the fact that there's a convergence and we need to take maximum benefit of it.
For me, this show has been an eye-opener, and I have seen the evolution of greater technology that would make our job a lot easier.
We're going to engage some of them for real to be able to do our work.
The team visited the exhibitions showcasing hardware and software solutions, including broadcast antennas, transmitters, and studio equipment, and used the opportunity to engage the manufacturers who pledged readiness to collaborate with the ministry in its efforts towards transforming Nigeria's broadcasting landscape. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
And back home, Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has concluded her two-day working visit to Taraba State with the launch of the Free to Shine Triple Elimination campaign for the Northeast Geopolitical Zone. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports that the First Lady also announced donation of a mobile clinic to the state government by Renewed Hope Initiative.
I say I want to get married, I want to go to school, I want to have kids. He said, do you know you can achieve all those things? But standing here today to tell you for the past 19 years, today I've achieved all those.
They are victims and at the same time conquerors of HIV/AIDS. And here they are with their bold testimonies of how early access to diagnosis, robust support system, and non-stigmatization of victims can help reduce vertical transmission of the disease. While flagging off the triple elimination campaign in Taraba State for the Northeast Zone, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says the frontiers of awareness and action against HIV/AIDS syphilis, and hepatitis is expanding across the country with the UNAIDS 95-95-95 target by 2030 in view.
The aim of this target is to see that 95% of the people who are living with HIV/AIDS know their status. 95% of those who are aware of their status are placed on life-saving antiretroviral treatment, and 95% of these people undergo treatment and achieve viral suppression, which means they cannot transmit the virus to others.
She harps on the need for critical stakeholders, including traditional and religious leaders and international partners, to support the campaign.
I rely on you all to do the needful. Also the wives of our service chiefs, you have a lot of women across the nation, and I know you are working on that already, but we can intensify our efforts. To our dear children and youth, this campaign cannot succeed without your involvement. You represent our future.
Now, for the two ladies that spoke out, and now they are free to shine, the government of Taraba State will be appointing special advisors in this field.
The 1.9 million Nigerians who have HIV can be rest assured that this government will work with partners that are willing to support.
Health is a means to everything we do, and health is outcome of everything we do in terms of development.
NACA, the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, is fully committed to your noble campaign, and we stand in solidarity with the Free to Shine initiative and the renewed hope agenda of Your Excellency.
Elsewhere in the state, the First Lady flagged off a mobile clinic and a free education program undertaken by the state government for basic and secondary schools in Taraba State. At the ceremony, she announced a donation of a mobile clinic by RHI to further assist the state in providing quality healthcare services to its rural and underserved communities. From Jalingo in Taraba State, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
In a similar development, in furtherance of its efforts to stem child and maternal mortality across the country, the Renewed Hope has distributed another batch of 10,000 professional kits to frontline health workers, this time to midwives in Northeast Geopolitical Zone. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, flagged off the distribution for the zone in Jalingo, Taraba State. State House correspondent Adeni Tayo again reports.
With Taraba State as the host, midwives and other frontline healthcare workers in the Northeast Geopolitical Zone take delivery of their own set of 10,000 professional kits donated by the Renewed Hope Initiative.
It is meant for professionalism. When you see anybody wearing this outside the hospital, you are able to identify him as a health worker.
And that is why the Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI, procured 60,000 branded scrubs and 60,000 pairs of Crocs as an incentive to encourage and support the tireless dedication of our midwives.
Presenting the items as part of RHI intervention under its health advocacies, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu highlights the importance of investing in and empowering health workers in order to scale down cases of child and maternal mortality in the country.
RHI recognizes that the demands of the health profession requires not only skills and compassion, but also the right tools and kits to encourage our midwives as they serve others.
It takes all of us, the federal government, states, local government, civil society, traditional leaders, and the whole of society to be able to improve the health and well-being of Nigerians.
While applauding the intervention, Taraba State Governor Agbu Kefas aligns the state with RHI vision of renewing the hope of Nigerians.
Let us continue in service to humanity, loving others as we love ourselves. That is the spirit we see in your work today. We in Taraba share in the vision of the Renew Hope Initiative, which align with our 5-finger development agenda.
Providing financial aid to the elderly, distributing essential food items, and offering support to those in need a clear manifestation of your compassionate leadership.
To the delight of women petty traders in the state, the First Lady also announced a donation of 50 million naira as business recapitalization grant for 1,000 beneficiaries in the state. The First Lady had earlier met with members of the Taraba State Traditional Rulers Council, where she renewed her appeal to them to actively support initiatives designed to improve the health and well-being of their people. Chairman of the council, His Royal Majesty Manu Ishaku Ada Ali, appreciate our interventions in the health sector, noting their impact on the well-being of the people. From Jalingo in Taraba State, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
In other news, the federal government Staff Housing Loans Board has pledged to intensify efforts in delivering affordable accommodation to public servants. Executive Secretary of the board, Salamatullah Ahmed, said this during an inspection tour of ongoing housing projects in key areas of the Federal Capital Territory. Hamman Jabani reports.
Salamutullah Ahmed led a team of officials on assessment visit to housing projects in Kuje, Gwagwalada and Karshi, where development are at various stages of completion. She emphasized that providing accessible housing remained a top priority in ensuring efficiency in civil service. The project, comprising different housing types, are designed to cater for the diverse needs of federal workers, with prices ranging from 17 million to 30 million naira. Some units have already been completed, while others are nearing completion, signaling significant progress towards the board's goal of enabling public servants become homeowners. The Executive Secretary reiterated that the initiatives align with federal government's broader agenda of improving the living conditions of its workforce, while remaining committed to ensuring that the housing units are not only affordable but also meet high-quality standards with necessary infrastructure.
So far, you are collecting your salary from federal government. You are entitled to our loan. So I'm calling on the federal government to look at the plight of the civil servant and increase the funding of the board. If we can be able to get a free land, they give us a land, and other stakeholders help us with doing the infrastructures inside, just like what we did in Gwagwalada. And the developers will only do the building. By doing that, the prices of the houses will drastically come down to the level that civil servant can be able to afford it.
The housing projects are expected to be inaugurated by June and are strategically positioned to ease accessibility of workers, transform the home ownership prospects of public servants, reaffirming the government's commitment to their well-being. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
In a move to boost state energy planning within the states, the Nigeria governors have signed a memorandum of understanding with the Energy China, which specializes in renewable energy gas production in China. Speaking on behalf of the chairman of the Governors Forum, the governor of Gombe State, Alhaji Inua Yahaya, said the MOE and the ensuing relationship between the organizations will signal a critical step in strengthening the institutional framework for sub-national energy governance. The statement added that access to sustainable electricity, which includes renewable energy, particularly in the wake of the recently passed Electricity Act of 2023, will mark a pivotal moment for energy landscape, introducing innovative structures that aim to boost investments and enhance the reliability of power supply across the country. NGF said fostering partnerships between the government, private investors and international stakeholders will develop innovative financing models, improve capacity building and enhance grid infrastructure to accommodate renewable energy sources effectively. And still speaking on energy, Nigeria's energy future took center stage at the 2025 Oloibiri Lecture Series and Energy Forum held in Abuja. The event brought together policy makers, industry leaders and technocrats to discuss strategies for achieving a sustainable and resilient energy landscape. Lydia Sampson reports.
It is the 9th edition of the Oloibiri Lectures For Muhammad Yusuf, a 300-level petroleum and gas engineering student from Nile University, his first time leaving the classroom to attend such a lecture series and interact with industry leaders is very significant.
I look forward to networking and getting to know all of them and discussing on the problem of sustainability in the oil and gas industry.
With the theme driving energy sustainability through technology, policy and supply chain excellence, key industry experts believe the Oloibiri Lecture Series and Energy Forum 2025 highlight Nigeria's commitment to navigating the global energy transition while fostering local empowerment.
PTDF has the mandate to build human capacities in the oil and gas industry. So PTDF has an enormous role.
So our first step is to make sure that we harness all discussions and all the areas of opportunities in the terms of technology, in terms of policy, and then to be able to gather like teams that will look into it.
There's a lot more openness, a lot more willingness to talk, and I think that's what we need to encourage.
Key speakers emphasized the need for innovative policies and investment in the energy security drive, including renewable energy, to meet growing demand.
As we forge ahead into this new energy era, let us remember sustainability is not a destination. It is a journey powered by technology, guided by sound policy.
The forum also stressed collaboration between government and the private sectors to enhance energy supply chains, harness technology, and emerging opportunities to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. They are unanimous that the Oloibiri Lecture Series is a rallying point for bold initiatives and strategic partnerships, positioning Nigeria's oil and gas towards leading Africa's energy transformation. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Away from energy matter to sports now. Ahead of next month's National Sports Festival, Ogun State Governor Dakpo Abiodun has assured that all necessary facilities will be ready. He gave the assurance after inspecting the MKO Abiola International Stadium and the Alake Sports Center, both in Abeokuta. Hakim Jimo reports.
As the clock ticks ahead of the forthcoming National Sports Festival tagged Gateway Games 2024, Ogun State government says it is not leaving any stone unturned in its quest to host one of the best sports fiestas. Ogun State Governor Dakpo Abiodun expressed satisfaction with the level of construction work done so far on the facilities across the state.
Starting from MKO Abiola Stadium, where we saw the track that's already in place, the field that's probably at about 80% completion, the warm-up pool, the main pool, the handball courts, the tennis courts. I would say that this facility is probably at about maybe 95% completion.
The governor, who noted that over 15,000 people from across the country are expected to attend the National Sports Festival in Abeokuta alone, added that his administration is working round the clock to get major tourist centers rehabilitated before the commencement of the Gateway Games.
It aims to promote discipline among our youth. It aims to also instill and train our youth for leadership. It teaches them teamwork. It also provides an opportunity and platform for talents to be identified.
He acknowledged that the renovation of sports facilities across the state is already yielding positive results, with the readiness of the African Athletics Federation to host its 2026 athletics competition in Ogun State. In Abeokuta, Hakim Jimo, NTA News.
For more on preparations for the National Sports Festival, we now link up with Yemi Dalemo, live in Abeokuta. I salute you, Yemi. How prepared is Ogun State to host the National Sports Festival coming up next month?
Well,
Thank you very much. Let me just tell you that we are just counting days to the commencement of the all-important Gateway Games 2024 in Ogun State, as all roads will lead to Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, for this important sporting competition. As we've been told, we are going to have about 15,000 people that will be coming here to witnesses, including scouts, who will be looking for raw talent among the athletes that will compete for about 33 events. 5 centers have been listed to host this sporting event, and they are the Shagamu Stadium in Shagamu that will be hosting the weightlifting. The Ikene Stadium will be hosting the football matches. The MKO Abiola Stadium, where I am now, is going to host the outdoor games, and we have the Navy Secondary School also in Abeokuta that will be hosting the boxing competition, while the Alake Sports Center in Nigeria area of Abeokuta will also be hosting the indoor games. As we speak now, if you look at my back, more than what the governor saw when he came to inspect, the activities here have been going on more on every day. And we look at the background, we see that even the field is with the AstroTurf now, making the field one to be in line with the international counterparts. So as we have now, it's only the Ijeja Stadium that is 100% ready as we speak, while others are over 95% ready. So as it is now, we in Ogun State are actually looking forward to that day, that beautiful day when we're going to be having the commencement of the Gateway Games in Ogun State. So as it is now, everybody, including and the economy of the state, is going to receive a boost, because when we're having about over 15,000 people coming into a particular state, you know what is going to be the ripple effect of that on the economy of the state. So all the 5 centers are ready as we speak, and the finishing touches are being put to others in the stadium, particularly the MQ Abiola Stadium that will host the outdoor games and the final of the football competition.
All right, that's good. It's good to hear this briefing from you from the stadium live there, Yemi. Thank you so much for your contribution from that end, and we wish Ogun State a successful outing for the sports festival.
For that, thank you for the beautiful.
Now, on court proceedings, the Federal High Court Abuja Division has struck out a fundamental rights enforcement suit filed by leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. The plaintiff filed the 50 billion naira suit against the federal government for the alleged manner in which he was repatriated to Nigeria from Kenya in 2017. The court, however, observed that the case has not been diligently prosecuted by Nnamdi Kanu's legal team, as they were absent during the proceeding and had absented themselves in past proceedings. The presiding judge, Justice Inyang Eko, struck out the matter for lack of diligent prosecution of the matter. The federal government, in its preliminary objection, had argued that the case filed by Nnamdi Kanu was an abuse of court process, having also filed a similar suit at the High Court of Umuahia, Abia State. We shall now be joining our Lagos Network Center, where Hingino is in our studio there to present the next sets of reports for us. Hello, Hingino. Over to you.
Norlene, and welcome to Lagos. In a bid to promote public health and reduce circulation of substandard and fake drugs, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has developed a bioequivalence strategic roadmap. The initiative will facilitate compliance and carry stakeholders along in the implementation process. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, made this known during a press briefing in Lagos. Generic drugs are medications that are marketed under the chemical rather than trademarked names of the brands they are identical to. Usually, They have same active ingredients and dosage. All around the world, they are crucial options because they are more affordable and available. The use of generic drug products is also common in Nigeria.
Implementing bioequivalent studies fosters confidence in the therapeutic equivalence of generic medicines.
Ensuring that generic drugs, when compared to their inventor counterparts, are safe and efficient is important. This is where bioavailability and bioequivalence studies come in, as they promote public health by reducing the circulation of substandard drugs, thereby averting therapeutic failures. NAFDAC is fulfilling its mandate of safeguarding public health through a robust, science-based regulatory framework that mandates bioavailability and bioequivalence studies for all medicinal products in Nigeria.
The agency has issued comprehensive regulations and guidelines for the pharmaceutical industry, detailing how to achieve therapeutically equivalent generic drug products through BE studies.
Professor Adeyeye said NAFDAC is investing in capacity building by training its staff and stakeholders to ensure effective and sustainable implementation of the process. In Lagos, traditional medicine usage is gaining more acceptance in the country, with many users attesting to the efficacy of the herbal products. While many of the products have been refined for treatment of various ailments through research and laboratory testing, Nigerians still believe more measures are needed to further develop them. Joel Pupola has the report.
Derived from plants, the potency of traditional medicine has never been in doubt. According to research, more than 80% of Nigerians depend on the medical solutions it offers, and its significance cannot be overemphasized. For many Nigerians, especially the older generation, herbal products has become a substantial part of their daily routine, and many of them are attributing their good state of health to its efficacy.
They are from herbs, they are from plants. All right. So if you are getting the natural one and you are taking it and it's working for you, and it's supposed to even work for you, if you use the right dosage, I don't think there's anything wrong.
We were brought up in terms of agbo. They make herbs, roots, add it together, cook it, and give us. And we're even stronger than the present day's children.
Other Nigerians, especially the youths, are still skeptical about the issue of dosage and the method of processing.
No, most of my friends they do, but me I don't. I've not tried it for once. The first time I tried it, it didn't go well.
The Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency have stepped up research in traditional medicine, producing several products which have undergone scientific testing and are awaiting mass production.
Our own is to develop these products, have a proof of concept, do our pilot plan, create spin-offs, create models and all of that, and all of these we have done, and we are waiting for necessary approvals so that they can be in the market.
With research and more exposure, experts say Nigeria can start reducing the importation of pharmaceutical products into the country. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
That's it from this end. Nationwide will continue in Abuja with Nolin after this break.
Welcome back to Abuja on Nationwide News. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has urged public servants to prioritize efficient services to citizens as a pathway to national development. This was at an event to mark the 10-year expiration of the National Coordinator and Chief Executive Officer of Savicam Presidency, Nnenna Akajemili. Kenneth Nanim reports that the SGF was represented by Permanent Secretary, General Services Office of the SGF, Maurice Mbari.
Servicom is an office established under the presidency to ensure that service off-takers are not shortchanged by service providers. Directly supervised by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. In a message, the SGF enumerated a number of reforms in the MDAs initiated by the Chief Executive Officer, Nenna Akejemele. As she bows out of service, having served in an acting capacity for a period of 2 years and has also completed 2 tenures of 8 years, the SGF's office scores her performance high, above expectations.
I call her Professor Nenna. Yeah, because of the excellent work she's been doing, and as a matter of fact, she has done this country proud.
Some of the personalities and staff of her office describe her as an Amazon who will stop at nothing to ensure that quality service is delivered to Nigerians.
Focus on citizens, put the citizens at the heart of everything you do, and that is what Nena has done.
That kind of interest in making sure that she add value to the Nigerian system was one of the things that motivated me.
She champions service delivery initiatives passionately.
The outgoing national coordinator of Servicom is full of gratitude to God, President Tinubu, and to the SGF for the opportunity to serve.
We are looking forward to Servicom bill being passed, and then we will now have the act that we can now begin to invoke provisions of the act.
The event also unveiled a pictorial compilation by the outgoing CEO on what Servicom has achieved so far. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Elsewhere, a professor of archaeology at Obafemi Awolowo University, Professor Adisa Ogunfolakon, has urged policy makers in Nigeria to promulgate law to guide and protect the nation's heritage sites from being destroyed. This was while delivering the 395th inaugural lecture of the Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife, titled From Analog to Digital, Archaeology in Yoruba Land. Rotimi Akomo reports.
While delivering the 395th inaugural lecture of the Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife, titled From the Analog to Digital, Archaeology in Yoruba Land, Professor Adisa Ogunfolakon opined that government at all levels should not give approval to planning office for any building or construction without cultural assessment of the site by archaeologists.
Advocating that in Nigeria, because unfortunately, the archaeologists in Nigeria, they are not enough. To those that have been trained, they are traveling out because they are not being recognized or actually given enough job opportunity in this country.
Professor Ogunfolakon called on archaeologists in the country to embrace modern technology to enhance their archaeological findings. From the Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife, Rotimi Akamo, NTA.
The National Open University of Nigeria is committed to leveraging technology to enhance its administration efficiency, improve students' support services, and strengthen the institutional processes. Speaking at a media briefing on its strides in the past few years, Vice-Chancellor of the university, Professor Olufemi Peters, affirmed that deployment of technology in running affairs of the university is at its fullest in delivering of its mandate. With the establishment of Directorate of Software Development, the university now moves in lives unbound with student strength of over 133,000 spread nationwide across 120 study centers, including inmates at different correctional centers of the country.
Provide solutions to the administrative processes that we do, that we perform every day in our university. And they've been able to do, within this 1 year of establishment, they have been able to roll out examination result presentation platform, which is a robust digital system that is designed to enhance the transparency, efficiency, and accessibility of our students' academic performance data.
The Vice-Chancellor advised regulatory body in the subsector to be more engineering in accreditation processes to properly accentuate the status of the institutions. FCT Minister Ezenwo Nyesom Wike says his administration will continue to support small, medium and large-scale businesses in the FCT as a way of bringing socio-economic prosperity for all residents. The minister, represented by Minister of State Dr. Maria Mahmoud, stated this during the inauguration of the Utako Green Solar Powered Market built by its holding agency in Abuja. Abdullahi Ajia has the details.
The commitment to drive business and investment to a higher level under the current leadership of the FCT administration through the Abuja Investments Company Limited has facilitated the construction of the Utako Green Solar Energy Farmers Market. This additional facility fulfills the visionary leadership of the FCT minister, aligning with President Tinubu's renewed socio-economic policy direction.
This initiative reflects our shared vision for a sustainable, inclusive, and resilient economy. On that support of our local farmers, empowers small-scale agribusinesses and ensure the quality produce is readily accessible to every resident of FCT.
We at AICL embarked on this project because it combines sustainability and modern eco-friendly practices that creates a market that benefits farmers, traders, and the FCT residents.
The inaugurated facility, arguably the first clean renewable energy powered market, spans 300 square meters, featuring 50 lock-up shops, 7 warehouses, and affordable open shops for sale and rent. Stakeholders across board appreciate the milestone achieved by the Abuja Investments Company Limited. In Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
Shall now join Abdullahi Ajia live to tell us more about the FCT Minister's economic development drive through this initiative. Abdullahi Ajia, good to see you. Can we hear your briefing on this economic project?
Thank you, Nolin. Well, it's been a swell time for the economic stakeholders in the nation's capital, Abuja. Don't forget, when the present administration came on board, I think parts of what they have tried to do in trying to change the narrative of the socio-economic prosperity of the nation is around the economic, creating economic opportunities for Nigerians. And the FCT Minister, Barrister Ezenwo Nyesom Wike, CON, and the Minister of State, I think, have keyed into this policy of the federal government by creating more enablement for the people of the FCT. And I must tell you that the people of the FCT have witnessed in recent time an orchestrated lineup of the commissioning or inauguration of markets drive by bringing about traders, investors, to be able to enjoy a very good environment for business. And just last month, around February, the Karumo District Market was inaugurated, a very big one, which was achieved through public-private partnership from the Karumo, and we came down to the Utako Farmers Market, where we are currently here, which was inaugurated on the 4th of April. And this is one market that is solar-powered, and they're keen into the eco-friendly initiative to where we don't have to talk about burning fossils of generator or fuel. I think this is one market that I think will provide more opportunities, for the people of the FCT. And also, it is important we also say here that these markets are not only created, for larger scale businesses, the middle scale business traders, and also the small scale business traders are also incorporated in the drive to carry everyone along. Also, we must say that entrepreneurs to have opportunities around the economic plan of what is being achieved. the holding agency of the FCT administration, which is the Abuja investment, is not leaving any stone unturned in trying to get more prospects, in trying to bring more prosperity economically and financially for the people of the FCT.
All right, very well spoken, Abdullahi Ajia. Thank you very much. And I'm sure the traders are happier.
Yes, well, from the interaction we've had with some of them, they've been able to express that happiness. We could see it physically on their faces that this is what has been missing in the nation's capital. What someone told me in one of those commissioning was that FCT Abuja used to be a public service area, but today the minister has changed the narrative of bringing more investors, more traders, people to come do business in the nation's capital. And their dream in the nearest future is that FCT should also be industrialized. Well,
Abdullahi, thank you so much. Now we shall be joining Aunli Okolo in our Benin studio for more on Nationwide. Hello, Aunli. It's over to you.
Lynn, you're welcome to Benin. The government of Edo and Kano states are advocating a strong mechanism to foster unity among states in the country, with the leaders leading by example. They believe this will correct the existing dichotomy among the citizens. This was a point of focus when the Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo led a delegation from Kano State to the palace of the Onoje of Urumi. His Royal Highness Anslem Idonije Goodluck Enaini reports that the delegation also met with the Arewa community in Urumi.
The delegation, comprising 4 cabinet members and the Emir of Rano, His Royal Highness Ambassador Muhammad Isa Umar, were in the States to commiserate with the people of Edo over the tragic incident and to reiterate the position of the Kano State government that justice be served with due diligence. The Kano State Deputy Governor presented the report of the committee to ascertain the true identity of the victims of the incidents to Governor Okpebholo before heading for Urumi, where Governor Okpebholo and the visitors were received by the Onoje of Urumi, His Royal Highness Anslem Idonije, who described the relationship between his subjects and the Hausa community as cordial.
We are people that believe in peace and development.
The visitors are not only happy with the swift intervention of the state government, they believe that justice will be served.
This visit is meant to consolidate and harmonize and improve the relationship between our communities, and we continue to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Governor Okpebholo, who was earlier in Kano for the same purpose, assured the Kano State government of justice.
The president was not happy at all. He set up a commission of inquiry between the federal government and the state government to look into the matter, the remote cause of this issue, and to bring a lasting solution to it.
The delegation also interfaced with some members of the Arewa community on the need to remain calm and be law-abiding. From Urumi, Goodluck Enaini, NT News.
Now to economy. There are slight reductions in food prices in Akure, Ondo State compared to the soaring prices witnessed in the first quarter of 2025. This downward trend noticed during a recent market survey within the metropolis has led to residents expressing optimism in the policies of the federal government to further crash prices of staple food commodities. Let's join Ifeoluwa Omoshuli for details.
This is the popular Erekeson market in Akure with trade and commerce at its peak. NTA observed noticeable crash in prices of staple food items like rice, beans and gari compared to the early part of the year. This drop in prices has brought joy to sellers who say they are experiencing increased patronage.
So Nigeria rice, then some will buy 75,000, some will buy 90,000, some will buy 85,000. But now the lowest one now is 65,000 naira.
We praise government for the coming down of food stuff now, because when it has come down now, market is moving more than before, but they should help us to let it come down more.
However, the prices of perishable items like pepper, tomatoes, and onions have gone up. Sellers attribute this hike to rising transportation costs.
If you then buy tea for our side, to carry and come now be the cocoa. Before then they carry one bag, 1,050 naira. Now almost 7,000 naira before you enter your shop.
I want it to do to reduce fuel.
Meanwhile, the prices of other items such as vegetable oil and palm oil remain high, with consumers attributing this to the activities of middlemen and market unions in the supply value chain. In Akure, Ifeoluwa Moshile, NTA News.
And now that's it from Benin. It's back to Nolin in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Anwuli. Now we shall take our second commercial break. We'll be back shortly. All right, before the break, let's take a story. The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, FCT chapter, has been commended for its efforts in projecting the relevance and impact of the public relations profession in the country. Secretary to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Rose Omao Oriaran Anthony, praised the institute during a solidarity visit to its leadership. Hamman Jabani reports.
Visit Secretary to the Independent National Electoral Commission emphasized the importance of effective communication in national development, particularly in institutions like INEC, where public trust is crucial. She said the Stanley Ogadigo-led executive have since assumption of office raised the profile of the FCT chapter and is proud of the administrative achievement in a short time. As the level of relevance the institution has gained is currently attracting people to identify with it.
It's the same, year in, year out. This has to change. And I am proud to say that I identify with an institution like this that has taken up this fight at a critical time like this. It is not easy to change a mindset, but a mindset can always be changed with determination.
You are bringing professionalism to that office, combining both management and leadership as public relations officers. And that is exactly what I see you do at the INEC. So I'm so delighted.
Because the shared commitment to fostering accountability and excellence in public communication. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has extolled the philanthropic and sacrificial life of late Bemishola Oluwalafe, particularly her contributions to the community. He stated this during a service of songs and night of tributes for the deceased held at the Eco Convention Center, Lagos. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
A gathering of eminent Nigerians, friends and family members of a philanthropist, late Mrs. Bemisola Olowolafe, wife of the Chancellor of Ekiti State University, Ado-Ekiti, Dr. Tunji Olowolafe, who passed away on March 11, 2025, after a brief illness at the age of 63. Vice President Kashim Shettima, in a tribute, describes her as a woman of substance, whose demise left many in great shock.
From this day, she will be remembered for the silence that now echoes louder than words. The silence that only a great soul leaves behind. Mrs. Olowolafe's life reminds us of the urgent need to live deliberately, to love without conditions, to serve without seeking recognition.
Also, Vice President Kashim Shettima represented President Tinubu on a condolence visit to the family of late former Governor of Oyo State, Abiola Ajimobi, on the death of their eldest daughter, Abisola Kola Daisy. Mrs. Kola Daisy died recently at the age of 42 in the United Kingdom. During the visit, prayers were offered for the deceased, just as Vice President Kashim Shettima conveyed President Tinubu's condolences to the former First Lady of Oyo State, Dr. Florence Ajimobi, and other family members. From Lagos, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
And on this solemn note, we conclude Nationwide today. Thank you for being part of it. I am Norlene Ebel Ame. Bye for now.